After the Great Spirit created the world, the morning stars came together on the shores of a quiet silver lake, bordered by blue mountains, the most beautiful place on earth. Hovering above the quiet waters and lighting the mountaintops with their robes of fire, the stars sang their songs of joy and pledged to gather there every 1,000 years to look upon the beautiful lake. One morning, when the stars were singing, there came a mighty crashing, and a great rock in the mountain wall tore asunder. The lake waters began to pour out and rush to the sea. The stars mourned the loss of their beautiful lake. They searched the earth for another place to meet and found a lovely valley through which a winding river ran. Gazing upon it, the stars realized that this valley had been the bed of their beautiful lake, and the blue mountains around it were the same ones upon which they had cast their robes of light in ages past. Singing their old songs of joy, they pledged never to leave their beloved river. And that is why, to this day, the river and its valley are called Shenandoah, daughter of the stars. The Shenandoah River in Virginia is one of America's great rivers. Only 150 miles in length and too shallow for commerce, the Shenandoah River flows north and is rich in history. The Shenandoah is a troubled river. Its waters are polluted and its fish are dying in great numbers. Today, the Shenandoah River is considered one of the most endangered rivers in America. What has happened?
There you go. That's one of our little catfish species, and called a margin mad tom. That's a large specimen. He's dead as can be.
One of those most concerned with what's wrong with the river is Jeff Kelby, the Shenandoah River keeper.
It's my job to keep this in the public eye because the public is fickle. They love to forget things, and they'd love to forget that there's fish dying in the river. And I think if we didn't remind them, they would think it was solved and that the problem had gone away.
In recent years, the fish kills in the Shenandoah River have become regular spring occurrences.
We didn't come up with a whole lot of promising leads in 2004, and then the exact similar type of kill, even more severe probably, occurred on the South Fork Shenandoah in 2005.
If it's not a biological issue, it's a contaminant issue. Something's entering the water stream, the waste stream, either from pipes or from our land, and that's causing the intersects that we have, and maybe that relates to the fish kills.
In the 20th century, there has been significant pollution of the river by industry and manufacturing. The South River and the South Fork of the Shenandoah River are scenic streams, but they are contaminated with mercury. And the mercury contamination stretches 150 miles from Waynesboro to Front Royal and beyond to Harper's Ferry.
Why don't you get out?
He's listening. Maybe that's all we need to do, is just tell him.
Float up and down the river and tell them to get the hell out.
Would you mind?
Get out. Get out. Go. Go on. Go.
It's easy as keeping your stock out of the river.
The average farmer now in Clark County, if he didn't raise cattle, would starve to death.
This watershed, the North River watershed here in this area, there are very few farmers that have cattle on the banks. I mean, they've done an extremely good job in the last 10 years. I don't know but of just a couple that have their cattle on the banks, and they would be in the little tributaries, just the spring creeks. But I don't know anyone on North River that doesn't have their cattle fenced off of the river. And they've done a lot. The water clears up a lot quicker after a storm, and it gets a lot clearer.
What we all now understand is that the Shenandoah River is part of a larger watershed, that we all live downstream.
But as an example, issues that occur even 100 miles up from here, 100 miles up, pollution issues, according to the EPA, most of that pollution makes it into the Chesapeake Bay and makes it past the 4 million plus people in the Washington, D.C. area.
The future of the Shenandoah River is as uncertain as its past is storied. And those most invested in the river's future have become involved.
We use a seine net and we try and catch critters that live in the bottom of the stream. So they're macroinvertebrates, like benthic macroinvertebrates.
Using simple and sophisticated methods, young people have proven the situation is volatile at best.
But when you've been to the river, you've been in it, you've experienced its waters, you've fished its waters, you've brought your family out, it's a bond. And you form a sort of stewardship with the river where it's a bond that goes to your soul, that you feel, well, I need to do something about that. And that's kind of what we do here. We put a lot of people on the water, and they tend to really feel a kinship with the river. And it makes them want to appreciate it, and it makes them want to take care of it. And that really goes a long way when trying to solve problems with the river, because when you're trying to get support, people go, oh, that's right, remember we were there, how beautiful that was, what a shame, let's see what we can do.
I think to some degree everybody looks at water and everybody's curious about it, and it may be something like that curiosity that draws them to try and right the wrongs. Maybe it's that curiosity that will cause them to look for the opportunity for a way to help.
To walk along the river, to walk beside the wall of stones that sheltered the Union soldiers that July afternoon in 1864, to know that on that same path, those who made the arrowheads that Brother James found once walked, to move among the great sycamores there, sycamores that are called witness trees because they're so ancient and have seen so much, provides a kind of tranquil depth that flows from the beginnings on to no end.
Everyone needs to understand that how we act now and how we take care of the river now, how we take care of the environment now, is going to affect how our grandchildren and how our children have to deal with the environment.
I think the public needs to agitate itself. It needs to see the effect of the fish kills on the Shenandoah, the gradual loss of water quality on the Shenandoah, the gradual loss of water quality in the Chesapeake Bay, and they need to educate themselves and stand up and show that all these issues are very important, and without thinking about downstream processes that, it's only going to get worse. So the hope is that people will educate themselves and stand up and become a voice for all these downstream issues, because they are exceedingly important to all of us.
We have got to teach people how to take care of water. And that's going to be a hard problem to do, because we've had it so many times for nothing that it's going to cost us to get it now.